Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to dive into something that might just surprise you if you're a fan of coin collecting, or even if you're just curious about the value of old coins lying around your home. Talking about the 1971 UK 5-pence coin. But here's the twist. This coin, even in dirty condition, could have a much higher value than you might expect. Stick around because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how much this little coin could be worth today in the market. And it might just make you rethink the pennies or pence lying around in your drawers. So let's start with a little bit of history about the 1971 5-pence coin. Back in 1971, the UK underwent a massive currency change. The country switched from the old pre-decimal system to a new decimal system, and this was a big deal for the British economy. Before this shift, the pound was divided into 240 pennies. After decimalization, the pound was divided into just 100 pence. This is when the 5-pence coin, as we know it today, was introduced. Now, you might think a 5-pence coin is small change, and in many ways it is, but when you look at the 1971 5-pence coin, there's a bit of rarity and uniqueness that might surprise you. So what makes the 1971 5-pence coin special? Well, for starters, the design. The coin features a portcullis, a type of gate used in castles, along with a rose, thistle, shamrock, and leek, representing the 4 nations of the United Kingdom. This design was the work of renowned artist Christopher Ironside, and it's the same design that continued to be used on 5-pence coins for decades after. Here's the key thing to know about the 1971 5-pence coin. In terms of mintage numbers, it's considered to be one of the more common coins from that era. That does mean it's not valuable, because as with many coins, condition plays a major role in determining its value. Now, let's talk about the condition. A lot of people think that a coin in poor or dirty condition has value, and that's simply true, especially in the world of coin collecting. Sure, a coin that's heavily worn might fetch a top price, but even a dirty or worn 1971 5-pence coin can still have market value, sometimes even more than you'd expect. When we say dirty, we mean a coin that's been in circulation for years, maybe even decades. These coins can have tarnish, scratches, and a bit of grime from years of use. But here's where things get interesting. While collectors always prefer pristine or mint condition coins, there is still a market for coins in less than perfect states. What's the market value of the 1971 5-pence coin today, even in a dirty condition? Well, the value can vary based on a few factors. If the coin is simply worn but still legible and identifiable, you might see it selling for around $4,000 on platforms like eBay or through local coin dealers. But if the coin has some special characteristics, like a rare minting error or a particularly interesting history, it could go for even more, even in a worn state. Collectors might be interested in these imperfections or unique features, which can push the value up to $5,000. Or sometimes even more. Now you might be thinking, should I clean this coin to improve its value? And here's where things get a little tricky. In most cases, cleaning a coin, especially with harsh methods, can actually reduce its value. You see, collectors prefer coins that are in original condition, even if they're a little worn or dirty. Cleaning them could remove some of that natural patina and even cause scratches, which might make the coin less appealing. If you really want to maintain the value, it's best to leave the coin as is. If it's just dirty and you want to gently clean it, you could try using a soft cloth or a mild soap solution to remove any dirt or grime. Just make sure to avoid harsh chemicals or abrasive materials. But let's step back for a moment and talk about why it's worth looking for these kinds of coins. Coin collecting can be an exciting hobby, and even though the 1971 5-pence coin might be worth a fortune, it's part of the broader world of numismatics. With rare coins, errors, or even special editions, there's always the chance to stumble across something much more valuable than you'd expect. If you're looking to sell your 1971 5-pence coin, there are a few ways to go about it. You can visit a local coin dealer, but be sure to do a little research first to know its approximate value. Online marketplaces like eBay are also a great place to sell, but remember, the condition and rarity will heavily influence the price. Don't forget to check listings for similar coins to see what they're going for. And keep in mind, if your coin is in poor condition but has an interesting story behind it, that could add value to a collector. Next up, the 1970 UK 5-pence coin. If you have one of these hidden away in your collection, or maybe tucked in an old jar of change, you might be holding on to something with significant value. Hey guys, it's great to have you here. You might think of the 5-pence as a small, everyday coin, but in 1970 it was part of a larger shift in UK currency. Only does this coin have historical value, but in excellent condition it can fetch quite a hefty price today. Before we get into the specifics, let's quickly recap a bit of history. The 5-pence coin, introduced in 1968, was part of the UK's transition from the pre-decimal currency system to the decimal system. In 1971, the UK moved from pounds, shillings, and pence to the modern decimal currency system, where 100 pence equaled 1 pound. But in 1970, the 5-pence coin was still a part of that transitional period. If you've been wondering about its value today, let's talk numbers. A standard 5-pence coin from 1970 in circulated condition is worth only a few pence in today's market, but that's where the fun begins. If you happen to have a 1970 pence coin in mint or extremely fine condition, you might be surprised to know that its value can jump significantly. A coin's condition is everything when it comes to its value. Coins are graded based on their wear and tear. A mint coin, which shows no signs of wear and retains sharp details, can be worth a lot more than its face value. An extremely fine coin, which has very minimal wear, is also highly sought after by collectors. The standard grading scale ranges from good to mint or uncirculated. For a 1970 UK 5-pence coin, the highest value will come from a coin that looks as if it just left the minting press. How much is this coin worth today? Let's break it down. In good condition, a 1970 pence coin might fetch you somewhere around $5,000. That's much, right? But here's where it gets interesting. If you happen to own one that's in extremely fine or brilliant uncirculated condition, the value can shoot up to $6,000 or even higher. In many ways, the idea of owning a piece of art of its own free will is a monster, right? But here's where it gets interesting. In fact, some collectors have reported paying up to $8,000 or more for the 1970 5-pence coin in pristine condition at auctions. A coin that's graded 65 or higher on the Sheldon scale, the same scale used for other collectible coins, could see its value rise even more. So how can you tell if your 1970 5-pence is worth more than just a handful of change? First, look for the quality. Does it look worn down? Are the details like the crown and the date clear and sharp? If the coin has noticeable damage, like scratches or dents, that will significantly decrease its value. Pay attention to the details. The 1970 5-pence has a distinct design, a rose within a coronet on the reverse, with a crown on top. This design can wear over time, especially on coins that have been in circulation for years. Here's a pro tip. If you're sure of the value of your coin, the best thing to do is to get it appraised by a professional. Many dealers and numismatic experts can give you a rough estimate based on its condition and market demand. Keep in mind that coin values can fluctuate based on market demand. What might be worth $9,000 today could go up in value in a few years, or it could drop. The world of numismatics is always shifting, and it's crucial to stay updated on trends. What should you do if you think you've found a valuable 19705 pence coin? First, check its condition. Look for any potential minting errors. Then, consider getting it appraised by a professional. And finally, be patient. Coin values can change, and the right buyer could come along at any time. Even though the 19705 pence coin might seem like much at first glance, its value today is a reminder that sometimes the things we overlook can be worth much more than we expect. Next up, the 1988 UK 5 pence coin, specifically its value in today's market. Even when it's in bad condition, you might be surprised by just how much these little coins are worth. So let's get started. First off, let's take a quick look at the 5 pence coin from 1988. For those of you who might know, this coin was part of a major redesign of UK currency. It featured the familiar design of a shield with the royal arms of England, and the reverse side depicted the famous heraldic image of a lion. In 1988, this coin was released as part of a circulating set, and you could easily find one in your pocket, and of course it was worth just 5 pence. About $5,000 currency back then. But what about today? Could a coin from 1988, especially one in poor condition, actually be worth more than a few pence? It's a bit of a surprising story, but the answer is yes, it could be. Let me break it down for you. Typically, coins in bad condition, coins that have seen better days, don't fetch much more than their face value. But in the world of coin collecting, there are exceptions. The 1988 UK 5 pence coin, for example, has become somewhat of a rarity in today's market. Let's rewind a bit. In 1988, the UK was experiencing a period of economic stability, and the British pound was strong. The Royal Mint produced millions of 5 pence coins for circulation, so you'd think they would be everywhere, right? But here's the catch. Over time, many of these coins were either lost, damaged, or just hoarded away by collectors. Finding one in even decent condition today is becoming rarer and rarer. When we talk about coins in bad condition, we're referring to coins that have visible wear, scratches, or tarnishing. Coins that might look pristine. Even these coins can have surprising value in the market today. Well, because demand for rare or vintage UK coins is at an all-time high, collectors around the world are hunting for these old coins. And the 19885 pence coin, in particular, is one that's starting to get noticed. Now, let's talk numbers. A 19885 pence coin, even in poor condition, could fetch around $3,000 at auction, or from private collectors. That's about $4,000. Still a nice return compared to the original 5 pence value. But if the coin is in better condition, let's say a fine or very fine grade, it could be worth much more, possibly up to $5,000. And if you're lucky enough to find one in near perfect, uncirculated condition, those coins can fetch anywhere from $6,000 on the open market, which is about $7,000. The higher the demand for a specific coin and the rarer the condition, the higher the price collectors are willing to pay. Now, you might be thinking, how can I sell these coins for a higher price? The easiest way to find out is to check online auction sites like eBay or coin-specific marketplaces. Keep an eye on completed sales to see what coins are actually selling for. It's important to remember that even coins in bad condition can sometimes surprise you with a higher than expected price if there's a collector out there willing to pay for it. Another great option is to visit a local coin dealer or numismatic expert. They can help you identify whether your 19885 pence coin has any unique characteristics that might increase its value. For example, any rare misprints or errors could dramatically increase a coin's worth, even if it's in perfect condition. So, to sum it up, if you happen to find a 19885 pence coin in your collection or in your change jar, Don't dismiss it just because it's a little worn out. With a growing interest in rare UK coins and the fact that many of these coins have been lost to time, even a bad condition 19885 pence coin could be worth more than you think. You might just have a hidden treasure on your hands. Be sure to check your change for coins like this, as you never know when you might come across a rare find that could be worth far more than its face value. Next up, the UK 10 pence coin from 1992. You may not realize it, but this seemingly ordinary coin could have a surprising value today. If you're into coin collecting, or maybe just want to know more about rare coins, this video is for you. Let's start with a little history. The UK 10 pence coin was first introduced in 1968 as part of the UK's decimalisation of currency, and when they moved from the old system to the decimal pound. The coin underwent several changes over the years, including the design to reflect the evolving UK currency system. By 1992, the design we're talking about today was in circulation. The reverse side of the coin featured a traditional symbol of British coinage, a Tudor rose. This design was used from 1982 all the way to 2008, so this particular coin is from a series that was produced for quite some time. So, why is the 199210 pence coin important? Well, in terms of rarity and demand, the 199210 pence coin is as rare as some other coins. But there are factors that can make it valuable in today's market. Condition, scarcity, and demand play huge roles in the value of any coin, and even this seemingly common coin could fetch a surprisingly high price if you have a fine condition example. Now let's talk about value. If you have a UK 10 pence coin from 1992 in fine condition, meaning it shows some wear, but still retains clear details, the value can range from around $5,000. While it's going to make you rich, it's definitely a nice little find if you're a collector. However, the value increases significantly if you have a coin that is in uncirculated or proof condition. These coins, which have never been used in circulation and retain their original mint shine, can fetch as much as $6,000. Not bad for a 10 pence coin, right? But here's where it gets even more interesting. If you happen to come across a rare variation or an error coin from 1992, that could bump the value up even more. There have been instances where 10 pence coins from this year were struck with double images or slight misprints, making them extremely sought after by collectors. For example, if a coin has a misaligned strike or a design error, it could be worth hundreds of pounds, or even more, depending on its rarity and condition. Error coins are highly prized among collectors because they're unique, and there are many of them around. Let's talk about how to identify if your 199210 pence coin might be valuable. The first thing you'll want to do is check the condition. A coin in fine condition will show some wear, but the design will still be clear. The more pristine the coin, the higher its potential value. Look closely at the surface for any unusual marks or signs of wear. Next, check the design closely. The Tudor rose design on the reverse side is the key identifier. If the design appears to have been struck more than once, or if it looks unusual in any way, that could be a sign of an error coin. If you find something like this, definitely have it professionally appraised. So, let's say you find a 199210 pence coin in excellent condition, or maybe you think you found an error coin. Where can you sell it? Or where should you look if you're looking to buy one for your collection? Online marketplaces like eBay, Coinstar, and various specialist coin dealers are great places to start. For error coins or rarer versions, you might also want to check out coin auctions or specialized collectors events. Be sure to research the value of your coin first so you don't sell it for too little. So, there you have it. The UK 10 pence coin from 1992 may be the most valuable coin out there, but in fine or uncirculated condition, it could still fetch a nice price. And if you're lucky enough to find a rare error coin, you could be looking at a much higher payout. Coin collecting is all about patience, attention to detail, and a little bit of luck. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel for more coin content. If you have any questions or want to share your coin finds with us, leave a comment below. I love hearing from fellow collectors. Until next time, happy hunting for those hidden treasures in your pocket change.